Welcome to hell. We've got dinner for you and it's hot. I've talked in this series about the many reasons we must reject hell. I explained that hell is not biblical, that none of the people in the Bible, not Moses, nor Abraham, nor Paul, nor Jesus, even had a concept of a literal, burning, eternal hell. I showed that we must reject hell because of what it says about a God who could have created or even allowed such a place. We must also reject hell based on reason, compassion, and common sense, which are all relevant to this conversation. We should reject hell because of the horrific view it takes of humanity, that people are awful and uncontrollable, and best motivated by fear and threat of punishment. Well, aren't they? No. Let's say you're a parent. You'd like your child to clean their room. Do you engage with them in a relationship to clean their room, or do you resort to threats? I think it's really easy to see that someone with a good relationship can gain compliance often by just asking. We don't really need to resort to threats. I've heard people at the grocery store say to their child, "Come on, or I'll leave you here." Is that the best we have to offer in parenting? It's not true. You won't leave them there. And you've just diminished your own credibility with your child. And you have not increased any positive relationship. That's what you say when you are afraid you can't control someone. You do what I say or else I'll disown you. Do you see that that's a low-level motivation from someone who doesn't know how to manage their authority? Motivating people by threatening them calls out our worst instincts. As long as you live under this roof, you'll do what I say. I'll kick you out of here. You'll live on the streets. You see how all relationship has pretty much broken down at this point? I'll put you in a burning fire forever where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth. Do you see how someone could really, a person could easily invent the idea of hell? And people in power could use it to their advantage? Powerful people throughout history have done that to those they want to control, have lied to them. It's not new. We should reject hell because of the permission it gives the worst among us and our own worst instincts. After all, if God can terrify people with the threat of hell, why not God's henchmen? Kings, emperors, and religious leaders throughout history have terrified others to gain control over them, from the leaders of the Inquisition to abusive priests and pastors to youth leaders and parents. Fear and punishment are the lowest level motivators. They're effective, and so they're in easy reach for controllers to grab, but they destroy people. Let me give you an example of destruction by fear. I know a young man who spent his very early years in an orphanage. The teenagers in charge, who sat around and watched porn all day, true story, told the younger kids that if they were bad, they would throw them out in the woods and the witches would get them. Effective? Yes, but at what price? The damage, the dissociation that happened in those children, I can't begin to describe. Terror is the easiest motivator, but the most damaging. The best motivator is surprise, love. True. The Bible tells us that. And I'll talk about that in the next video. For many people, the idea of no hell sounds outlandish, but that's only because the church has acculturated us to hell for 1,700 years. But in fact, it's the idea of hell that's outlandish. The church over history could not have done a more thorough job of terrifying its people with the fear of torture for all eternity. But it's false. And it's time we have the courage to admit it's false and stop teaching it. Let the truth settle on you. that God is not there to punish you, and God really does love you, and that love means love. Love feels like love. Don't be afraid. You're beloved. Go in peace to love and be loved above all else.